Welcome to Stars Launch Pod, where we chat with innovators who are overcoming challenges, pushing boundaries, and collaborating to make space more accessible and sustainable for humanity, one launch at a time.
It's one small step for man.
Here's your host, Susan Wise.
Welcome to Stars Launch Pod, space technology and research sciences, brought to you by starsciences.org, where we connect, collaborate, and accelerate. I'm your host, Susan Wise, and today we're very excited to have with us Ubaldo, the space ace Ciminieri. He's the chief of staff over at CisLunar Industries, helping drive big ideas in space-powered transformation and in Space Panel, which takes conversations to audiences all around the world. To dive into your story today, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Yeah, so CisLunar Industries, we are focused on developing and deploying really critical power infrastructure for space. Anything that needs power in space, we built this power conversion technology to really power our own product, which was a modular space foundry, with the goal of being able to process materials like metal in space. There's a lot of metal kind of floating around, a lot of space debris.
Mhm.
And our ultimate mission is to be able to take those kind of resources in space, in orbit, melt those down and turn them into materials that can be used for building, that can be used for propulsion. Ultimately, though, right now we're focused on the power of that because we built our own power supply that we found to be pretty unique, really scalable. We can mass produce these power processing units for things like electric propulsion, for e-beam welding, for anything that needs power in space to support in-space manufacturing, for example. So that's what we're focused on. It's really kind of exciting to be a part of a company that's bringing kind of all these sci-fi things to life, in real life. And for example, our foundry uses what some might consider kind of a precursor to tractor beam technology, if you know Star Trek lore.
Of course.
So it's really cool to see that technology in real life. So that's what we're doing. We're having a blast doing it.
And I know the focus is to eventually go back to the moon and hopefully maybe to Mars one day. And these are the type of things that we would utilize there.
Exactly. Yeah, we kind of see a path not only in cislunar space, which is kind of the space between Earth and the moon,
Mhm.
but then on the lunar surface where we could, power anything on the moon, but also, create recycling centers on the moon, for example. But then even beyond that, we want to make it so that humanity can not only survive, but also thrive and continue out further past Mars, and beyond.
I love that when you're talking about recycling, you really mean like junk and space junk and that type of recycling?
For sure. I mean, that's a
Okay.
big part of it. There's so much space debris in orbit. I think that the goal for us is to be able to utilize as much of that as possible and turn it into something new, right? Because right now we have to take things from Earth
Mhm.
and that's heavy, be expensive. And so if there's resources that we can tap into in space, on asteroids, on the lunar surface, why not? So we want to be able to enable that so that we can have a permanent human presence
And
out
repurposing.
there.
Sure. Yeah.
And repurposing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, what has been your biggest aha moment on this journey?
Oof. Yeah, well, I think the biggest aha moment for me is that, space it could use everyone's voice or could use a variety of skill sets. I think oftentimes this is the case for me. I never saw a chance for me to work in the industry because I wasn't an engineer. It felt very technical, right? And
Mhm.
that was the only way you could get to work in the space industry. But that's not true. And the industry, if it's to continue to expand and move forward and really truly help humanity go to space, we need everybody. And so that's been the aha moment for me and that's a lot of the work I try to do, when I'm out there speaking and things like that, is to invite more people to lend their voice, to lend their skills, from sales and marketing to HR to finance to whatever it is, you can have an impact in the industry now.
I love that, Ubaldo, because that's kind of what Stars Launch Pod is at heart, connecting and collaborating and being able to bring people together and have those conversations and share knowledge, because we're all kind of working
Absolutely.
toward the same thing.
Yeah, it's a human endeavor, right? And I think, it shouldn't be left to just a small group of people. I think everyone should have a voice, whether they want to go to space or not. I mean,
Mhm.
ultimately, humanity is tied by one thing, and that's looking up at the stars every night. We all see that no matter where we are on the
Mhm.
planet.
What do they say?
Yeah.
All of us is greater than each of us. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love that. Exactly.
In your journey and through all this, I'm sure there are challenges because challenges give you an opportunity to grow. So, what has been your biggest challenge and how did you overcome it?
I think it was probably imposter syndrome, and I think a lot of people in
Mhm.
this industry have that because it's the Apollo era kind of gave us this idea of the right stuff, and that was defined by grit and sort of having this eliteness. And so I think that held a lot of people back. And I think it also gives a lot of people pause
Mhm.
when in reality it should be the opposite of that. I think, again, going back to my earlier sentiment, it's this industry needs all of us. And so uh, getting over that took a minute, but the industry, and once you get in and once you start to meet all the people, you really start to find that it's a small yet growing community who are all here to support each other.
Mhm.
And that imposter syndrome kind of goes away really quickly.
Right. You have to believe that
Yeah.
you can do it and you are able to
Yeah,
do it. And then surround yourself with people who can support you and lift you up and help you reach those goals. That's good.
exactly.
Do you
Exactly.
have a piece of advice you'd like to share with our listeners?
Yeah, I mean, if you're interested, I'd say go for it. Start reaching out to people, whether it's friends or even, your network on LinkedIn, like see who's working in the industry
Mhm.
and reach out, have a coffee. I mean, that's sort of how I did it. That's how I met our CEO. We kind of became friends first. We were both establishing ourselves in the space industry here in the US at the same time. And again, we became friends and then we found an opportunity to work together. And so that's what I would recommend is
Mhm.
just do it. If you're really interested, like just start reaching out and connecting with people.
When it comes to a passion project, is there a specific, maybe past or even present passion project, something that you're just really focused on?
Yeah, for me, it's the traveling space panel.
Mhm.
It's something that a group of us created a little over a year ago to actually kind of have these conversations where we bring in those different voices to sit and talk about how we can create more intentional collaborations between the space industry and art, music, culture, entertainment, different industries,
Mhm.
and how we can, really intentionally inspire each other and work more closely together to build even greater things. And to remind ourselves, that a lot of us got into this because of sci-fi and Star Trek and Star Wars and The Expanse or whatever,
I grew up with it.
pick your sci-fi, right? Exactly. And so it's kind of a reminder of that and how much
Mhm.
fun this can be together. And so that's really the passion project for me is use that as a way to extend an invitation to anyone out there to say, hey, like we need your voice. Come on in. Like this industry needs that right now.
When you have these panels, how would someone get involved and find out more information about it?
We try to go and speak at as many conferences and
Mhm.
different events as we can. And so I'd say looking for different space events. We're trying to get into other different types of events too, like, Comic Cons and things
Mm.
like that, where we know there's a lot of people who, love space, right?
Yeah.
And they love their sci-fi. So they're going to be there and they're going to be an audience that's, I think, willing to listen. So I think it's just that is looking for those kinds of events and conferences that are open to the public and just going and checking it out.
You know, you never know when you're going to tap into, some great ideas. I mean, say, you just mentioned
Mhm.
Comic-Con, but you never know what you're going to come across and what you might learn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. It's there. It's happening more and more where we're getting a lot of that crossover, and you're starting to hear from more people from the space industry about what the industry is actually making real
Mm.
from the stories and the fiction that we've come to love.
All right. I love your story. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for sharing your story with us today. We really appreciate you.
Thank you very much. This was awesome.
Ubaldo, thanks again for joining us here on Stars Launch Pod. Be sure you join us where we connect, collaborate, and accelerate. And we'd like to invite you to join starsciences.org. You can receive a free 1-year membership. Just enter the promo code FRIENDS321. That's FRIENDS321. And if you enjoyed this episode, leave us a review and subscribe. And until next time, keep looking up.
Don't miss an episode. Subscribe on your favorite streaming platform. Watch us on YouTube and follow us on social media. Stars Launch Pod, propelling us forward, one launch at a time.